why should a streamer care about energy? A question the streamer then comes to is like, those people's views don't even count. So like, why should I care about competitive marble racers? So I'm gonna explain to you why you should care, all right? Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's get things started. Yes, so today we're talking about energy. You guys can still join the races. We're gonna go over maybe one of the most controversial topics in the whole entire marbles meta and community. Energy, I hate it. I'm just kidding. All right. Okay, so what is energy? A lot of probably like the first thing you start hearing about the game as far as any type of, I don't know, any type of thing that's related to the game in general. But if you ever dive deeper than just regular racing and you start going around the community, a word that pops up in everyone's ear and out of their mouth is always energy, right? So what is energy and why is it important? Energy is for those of us who are competing for the leaderboards, specifically the racer leaderboard more. So it does affect the streamers, but I'll get to that. Energy is for people who essentially want to compete for the racer leaderboard. And if you're not competing for the racer leaderboard, you really don't need to worry about it unless you're streaming also, because you're worried about your racers need energy. It does not affect any local leaderboards or any of the Grand Prix that you do, which was confirmed by Enders, that energy doesn't affect local leaderboards or a Grand Prix. And Pixel confirmed that time ago, I believe. So why do we need energy, right? And what is it exactly? It's for the competitive racers, and if you run out of energy, essentially, you don't get any points towards the leaderboard. So it's a system that you have to juggle that is locked onto every marble in the game, has its own set of energy, and you have to manage the energy in order to keep competing for the racer leaderboard. I kind of want to dive into the history of it before I go to the nit and gritty of what energy is. So energy, how did it start? Energy started, I think, as far as I can go back, I kind of always had a memory of energy, but I do remember a very, very early time. And I mean, this makes me feel like I'm trying to remember back to my childhood. That's how long ago it was. There was a time, I do remember playing marbles, where we didn't have any energy. That you could play on any tabs that you wanted. And a lot of the OGs will remind you of that time. It was a long time ago. Years ago, where we didn't have energy and you just played as many tabs as you want. Really, your limit, I tell this story all the time. Season 10, yeah. Exactly. And I can barely remember it, Raz, to be honest. And really, you were only held back, honestly, by your hardware, right? If you had a computer that had, like, great memory and, like, a supercomputer, you know, like a really good computer, you could open up to 20 tabs easily, you know? Especially if you were only watching them at the lowest possible, you know, setting for quality options. You turn down the transcoding to, like, 160 or whatever, or 180. You pretty much could open up to 20 tabs or more, if depending upon just how good you were. So honestly, your only limits was just by the limit of how many marbles you could spam and how many tabs you could have open and how many chats you could have and how often you could pay attention to the race, right? I'd like to say that initially, I believe a large reason why energy was implemented was probably because of competitive edge, to make it slightly more fair and to make it more than just spamming, you know, as many as we can. We wanted to add like a little bit of, it's hard to say, you know, at the time I don't even think they were thinking skill per se, but it has developed into a skill, juggling energy and managing energy. But at the beginning, I think they just wanted to add a second element to it, that so that, number one, you weren't spamming in a bunch of different chats, and kind of forces you to pay a slightly attention, and also because it gave a more equal playing field, right? That's like one of the reasons. I would say another reason would be that for a while, I believe we all suspected that not all 20 tabs are being counted. And this goes back to what we talked about last week, right? I think if you guys notice, a lot of this whole season, all the updates are kind of building off of one another. It started with events, and it kind of dives deeper and deeper into like all the things that are kind of connected with like marbles, right? We kind of had this roadmap. Last week, we kind of touched on this as well. Is that like maybe not all your views are being counted? And for a while, I think we knew that not all 20 tabs are being counted. So energy, like, essentially lower your tabs so that those, what we thought was the right amount of tabs to be counted for views. Right? I remember it was limited to like, at one point, it was limited to like 20 tabs. And then we also had a system. I don't know, for those of you who remember, there was like orange. When your like name was orange, you had to be really careful. And then when it was red, you just weren't getting any points anymore. There was like a color scheme system too, to warn you if you had too many marbles out there. Right? So like what would happen sometimes is we would even get lost. So you had like maybe 12 marbles or 14 marbles at the most. And like if somebody ran a stupidly long track, for like 6 hours, you would like be missing that one marble until that race was over. It was painful. I remember those days, dude. Like, oh my God. It sucked. Happy New Year's, Max. Hey, Tracy. Yeah, it sucked. All right. Hey, Miz. Yeah, it was painful. Those were the days, though. I definitely remember those days. But eventually it came tiers, which was like managing your energy and being able to get bonus energy back for racing and completing certain tiers. Meaning like at every single tier, you would get a certain amount of energy back. So like, for example, let's say 8 races in a row or something like that. At 8 races in a row, we would get a bunch of energy. We would get 8 races worth of energy back. 5 races in a row in the same channel. This is the same channel now. This is not like different channels, but 5 races in a row, you get 5 energy back. That was like the initial thing. And every single tier had its own different number of races you had to complete. And at certain tiers, you would actually gain bonus energy back. And that was kind of exciting for a while, and it went around, but it became to the point where everyone was going around kind of, and a lot of competitive marblers were just competing to get bonus tier energy back, and then they would just leave the stream after that. Because after that, they didn't know if it was safe to complete more tiers. And then we adjusted that somewhat more through the last few seasons, and finally I think we've settled. Here is how energy works. Each racer's energy resets to 20 at 9 a.m. Eastern every day. Each race costs 1 energy. If you run out of energy, the points you earn do not count towards the global leaderboard. This does not affect local leaderboards or Grand Prix rankings. Energy also applies to Battle Royale mode. It, however, does not apply to arcade mode games like Boost or Tilt mode. For every 4 races played in the same stream during the same day, a racer will earn 4 energy back. This is called completing a tier. For tiers 1 to 25, or the first 100 races, each tier is 4 races. Tiers 26 to 32 require 8 races to complete and return 8 energy. This prevents competitive racers from being in too many races at the same time. Streamers are awarded bonus XP for helping racers complete tiers. For tiers 1 through 25, they earn 1 bonus XP for helping a racer complete their tier. Tiers 26 to 32, 2 bonus XP is awarded. XP goes towards the global streamer leaderboard, as well as helps unlock streamer challenge rewards, which award pixel by pixel coins and exclusive skins. So that's the current version. So that's why most of us are always looking for 4 races, but we'll get to that. It's a lot easier than I think the old version ever was, in the sense that like for most streamers, it's okay for us just to run 4 races. There was obviously a lot of criticism and like obviously a lot of just problems I think we saw with the last system. And I think the hardest part was always the onus on the streamers to be careful, right? It put a lot of strain on the streamer to have to watch people's energy. And now it's a lot easier. This is the current system. You all know this. Like if you run 4 really fast races, like click, 30 seconds, you're looking at, you could get like 4 races in like 15 minutes if you had to, easily. You pick like the right tracks, and it's only a few people, and you really don't. Yeah, that's a lifetime. Well, Vibbles, okay, we're not all snapping and cranking away. Okay, some of us are kind of taking it slow. We're retired. Okay, I'm a boomer, Vibbles. I'm an OG cranker. I need to. Sometimes it takes a little time to get the oil going. You know, gotta get all the cogs and wheels moving. Anyways, you gotta warm up the engine. Old man GJC, it's true, Johnny. That is like, if you guys have any questions about energy, that's essentially what it is. It's a tier system, and I could show you, like I said, the best way to understand it is to show you guys, to explain it is to show you guys. You can see all these people who raced in this race that we just played. They all have energy. Oh, there we go. Energy. It says it. It says 1 out of 4 races. That shows you the tiers that people have completed. And that's the part that you need to keep track of as a racer. This is at the end of the screen. You gotta look down that bonus column. It says how many races you have gone towards which tier you're trying to go for. So right now we all have 1 out of 4. That's that easy. And then you can see right next to that, it says energy. That's how much each individual racer has and how much energy they have. Every day you start off with 20. It essentially rewards you for staying in the same channel and playing. Oh yeah, and we also suspected at the time, oh, I should have talked about this, but that's okay. Suspected at the time that, like, for racing, we thought it was, like, maybe even muted tabs weren't counting. And that, like, for a while, we all played with, like, a little bit of volume. I remember that. So that's the current version of the energy. And then, like, how can you keep track of it aside from this right here? Is for a while, we didn't have this feature, but now if you get the mobile app, it'll list all the races. And right now is the time that I would show a screen of it. So if you go on the mobile app, you'll be able to see all the races that you've done in every single stream that you've played in for the day. However, there is a slight lag for the races to update, and occasionally hiccups will happen. So it is still on the racer to be able to keep track of those things, right? You have to be able to count to 4 at a time. Like, what can you do on the streamer side to help people keep track of energy? Well, first of all, you got to communicate with your racers, right? Let them know how many races that you want to run. If you think you're about to end stream or something like that, I know it's like sometimes it feels less spontaneous that way, but it's really only 4 more races, so it's like 15 minutes or so. You know, it's not too bad. And you could, like, start saying your goodbyes or whatever. I would say that, like, it's usually good practice just to let them know if you have like 3 or 4 races left, and to help them complete their tier, and understand that it's, like, not easy, like, juggling energy, you know. But mostly it's communicate with your streamers. Whether, you know, you guys will see, I'll put up, like, right here usually last GP or something like that. And if you ask someone to double check your energy because you don't trust the app and they're rude, you just never have to play in that channel again. Yeah, I get that, Tracy. I'm going to actually get to that. Yeah, let them know if you have like 4 more races left. Usually when there's the last 4 races, I let them know. You could put something on your screen, you know, like last 4 races, or you can type it in chat and spam it a bunch of chat. I do both usually. I'll be like last GP, for like the last 4. Yeah. Oh, Raz has a pro tip, is you can close the app and then reopen it again instead of waiting 5 minutes to refresh. Yeah, you can do that too. Sometimes, though, there's still even lag, right? That happens. There will be like minor hiccups, but that's just mobile in general. I don't know if it's necessary. It's not always. I don't think it's really default probably on the Marble side. I think it's just sometimes apps take a minute to load. And obviously, another thing you have to do is you have to keep the side clean, right? You have to keep all this. When people complete their tiers, which we'll show you, we'll run a few races. Guess I should have kept on running races. So you got to keep that side of the score screen clear. Which you'll notice, that's why I put my camera usually when I'm streaming. That's why I put my camera on this side. The only reason why I'm big is because I'm doing the marbles update. But usually I keep it on this side. So that that side of the screen is completely clear. Some other things that you could do for, I think like kind of a pro tip is like to keep track of races yourself as a streamer. To keep track of races as a streamer, I think a pro tip would be to run races in multiples of 4. Your Grand Prix are already 16, right? Like, it's already set up kind of for you to do it perfectly already. So that kind of actually makes sense to run your races in multiples of 4 anyways. So 16 races in a Grand Prix, that's the max amount you could have. So like 8 or 4 at a time, 12, I mean, you want to do 12. But do it in multiples of 4, so it's like easier for you to keep count as well. Yeah, it's like the easiest way to do with the math and not forget. And obviously, you know, I wish you could put battle royales in Grand Prix because that'd be pretty cool. But battle royales also count towards energy. So now we're gonna get to kind of like the balance of it all and why it like matters sort of. So like, why should a streamer care about energy, right? Because we talked about the idea that if somebody has more than 5 tabs open, all the other it doesn't count for more than 5 tabs as viewers. So in a way, there's like, I guess, a question the streamer then comes to is like those people's views don't even count. So like, why should I care about competitive marble racers? You know, which is like, I think it's a legitimate question, honestly. Right? And I know that sounds controversial, but I think that's a legitimate question. Is why should the streamer even care about that, right? So I'm going to explain to you why you should care, all right? Number 1, the people racing in your stream are actually helping you earn experience points. And we could show that at the end of this race. There was a streamer I went to that I only do 1 race with, and they say I can have 3 more energy, and she said no. I don't know, they just want to race 1 race just for demo. I asked like 2 times. Other people asked and she said no. Well, now you know. Now you know. If you didn't, now you know. The more you know. I mean, I'll get to that. I'm gonna explain to you. I will say though, the vast majority of us don't play like competitively, right? You were looking at a very, very small percent. I think it's less than 1% of the players are in the top 200, right? My math checks out. It's a very tiny amount of people, like in percentages of people who play the game. But I'm gonna explain it. Okay, so getting back to it, why should we care as a streamer? And like, what do we get out of helping these people complete their tiers? You'll see that when you run races, you'll get experience points on the very, very top. Those experience points go towards your streamer challenges, which then helps you unlock free coins. So like, by running races, you're earning experience. You're climbing the streamer leaderboard as well, which is a whole nother thing and has its own reward. But the small thing that everyone gets for streaming races and for playing races and earning experience points is they get streamer challenge rewards from it. So we'll go to, you'll see a lot of us have 3 out of 4. We'll go to, 3 out of 4. We'll go to our last race of this GP to demonstrate. I think probably the main reason, and you're seeing a lot of what is being said in chat, is one of the main reasons you should care as a streamer. One of the main reasons why you should care as a streamer is that actually, despite the fact that they're the smallest percentage, quote unquote, of marble players compared to like the large majority casual players that don't compete, they're actually the ones who are like the most active, right? They play in more marble streams than any other like subset of community members, right? They are the most active players of the game. Therefore, this goes to what I was talking about all week kind of on stream. Is it's like your reputation precedes you, right? Like Sesmita had, we all have nightmare stories as competitive marble players of somebody not giving us energy back, right? Mine, of course, was during the time I was grinding, which was my marble stuck on somebody who's running like a 6-hour course, and I'm like running out of energy, and I can't juggle with that many. I was gonna be playing with like 14 tabs that day, but instead I'm playing down to like 12 or 10 or 11 because I lost a marble on somebody's super long track. So that was like my bad experience with energy, right? But nowadays, the bad experience is like I got to only 3 races with somebody. Before, it was a lot more. Before the tiers, when they weren't just 4 races, a lot more. Now the bad experience is like I had 3 races in and I just needed 1 more. But now I'm down to 17 instead of juggling and playing for the whole day. And it gets worse and worse, right? So like that happens to you once a day, that might be okay. That happens to you twice a day, okay, I can still live with that. But when it drops to below 10, like energy, like you start really feeling it. And you're like, well, like you have to like, essentially you're not playing in like 5 tabs, right? You might even be down to playing in 2 and 3. Just to be safe. Which makes kind of a big difference. So yeah, grinders are the most active members in the community. So if you have a reputation as somebody who doesn't finish tiers, like, people will know that, and people will remember that, right? My friend Oxide says it all the time. Like, this one time he didn't finish somebody's energy, like, that person has never come back to his stream. And you're still like, well, I don't really care because their views don't count, you know? And my thing is yeah, their views might not count, but their opinion counts a great deal because they are the most active members in the community. They go around to a lot of streams. They talk to other players, not just competitive players. They talk to everyone in the chats. They're actually very active members. And if they're not talking in your channel, I guarantee you they're probably talking in somebody else's channel, right? So they get around the most in the community. They talk to other members in the community the most. They talk to other streamers. They talk to the developers of the game and the studio the most. They are the most active members in all ways, not just by playing, but also just active in general in getting around. So their opinion of you actually, in some ways, matters more than anybody else's in the Marbles community because they essentially are the Marbles community. So that's another reason why you should care. This is your reputation precedes you, right? But, and there's a big but, let's go to like the other side of this, all right? Which is, it seems like sometimes you feel like they're playing in so many tabs that they're not responding to you properly and things like that. I think one of the things that you have to keep in mind, and probably the first thing I'll say is, this could be a foreign language issue. We have like Marbles is international, and it seems like sometimes when you're trying to communicate with people, it's not that they aren't listening to you, it's that they don't even know you're talking to them because they don't speak the same language, but they're still just trying to play marbles with you competitively. So always keep that in mind, that like Twitch is international, Marbles is international. So sometimes you need to keep be worried that the person doesn't speak English. It's not they're trying to ignore you, but some marblers don't speak English. So please remember that. Give them like the benefit of the doubt as a streamer. I always give them the benefit of the doubt. But on the flip side of that, what can marblers do to help it easier for streamers? Because this is like a symbiotic relationship. You need us because we help you get tiers, and also gain points for the leaderboard, right? And we need you because we need to compete for experience points to get free coins, even though some people don't care about that. But we need you because you help us essentially create a community, right? Even if you take away the fact that you think, oh, competitive racers don't count as views. Like, we need you because you're helping us build our stream, not just in the way of numbers, because that's so like antiquated way of thinking about like Twitch in general and social media and content building. But most importantly, it's truly about building the community, because those are the people who play the most in the community and with you and other streamers like you. So they're the best people equipped to help you build your stream and your community. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys? And also, I would say if you don't understand how difficult it is to grind and keep track of energy competitively with several tabs open, let's say even try 5 tabs open, I dare any streamer to try it for a day and not scuff. It is incredibly difficult. You think it's easy, it's not. Like, so give them the benefit of the doubt. But on the flip side, what can you do as a racer to make it easier for the streamer? I see a lot of people ask to finish tiers, but they aren't polite about it. Yeah. So what can you do as a grinder to like make things easier? So because it's a symbiotic relationship, you as a competitive marble racer, what can you do to help like foster that relationship? Right? Is first of all, say hello. Like, communicate with your streamer. Like, I cannot tell you how like important it is just to communicate with your streamer. Like, just pay a little bit of attention to what's going on in stream. I'm not saying you have to like listen to it the whole entire time, but like check in to make sure if stream is ending or not, you know? Like, I think a lot of us are consistent time-wise because like, you know, GJC will usually race, you know, like he'll stream for like 3 hours or whatever. Like, you know, I don't usually go that long unless I do. And if I do, you'll see me say something like I'm cranking races. Like, I'll write that on my screen, like GJC is cranking races or whatever, you know? But even if I don't, like, you kind of have to get a feel for how long somebody's going to be streaming for. Sometimes you get used to their habits, or they have a very strict schedule, you know, or they just simply tell you, guys, I'm going to be ending stream soon, you know? You know, I'm spamming it in chat and I have something written right here, last 4 races, right? Like, you guys have to pay attention to that. Ignores GJC, Cybernetic Kraken. Another thing that, like, as a streamer is you already have, like, a lot of lasers firing off. And you're like, what are lasers? I mean, you're, like, multitasking already. I'm, like, right now, alone, I'm talking to chat. I'm trying to keep track of my talk show. I'm running races. I'm, like, doing, like, 50 other things. Normally, I'm running stream raiders as well. I'm probably talking about something, looking something up, trying to keep track of 50 different conversations. So it's already incredibly difficult, and there's a lot of things going off. So, like, don't bug a streamer to check your races, like, after every single race. You know, like, a part of you just has to count. Like, make sure you're in the race, make sure you're done. He's not always going to show you all the races that you've completed. They might not always actually scroll down the list to see the tiers, you know? But if you let them know I'm a competitive marbler and I just need to know when you're doing your last 4 races or something like that, if it's someone new, you know, a lot of it is up to you as a competitor to be able to educate the people you want to play with. If you like a marble streamer well enough to stay in their channel and hang out and you're curious about it, ask them if they know what energy is. Like, you have to take part in fostering the conversation and helping them understand it, you know? And like, some of them are probably curious but have no idea what's going on, right? And by explaining another like energy to another streamer who's new or someone who's new, you've essentially brought in one more person into the community and created one more like safe haven for you and marble editors to play in. Like, look at it that way. You like marble racers have to do their part in fostering like a good relationship with streamers as well. Even if you're not a competitive marbler in the sense that you're not going for the leaderboard, like, and you're just a community member going around, ask people who are new to the community if they know what energy is. It's a great way to start a conversation, and it's essentially one of the only things that we can do competitively on stream outside of just, you know, whoever finishes the race first, right? It's like, it's the It's the thing that's like underneath all of it, right? And everyone always wonders why there's leaderboards. Well, in order for you to get on the leaderboard and have a global rank, you need to understand energy. Right? It's a great conversation starter. It's a great way to get someone to be brought into the community. Here we go again. You can see I got a bunch of bonus XP back. And then also experience points as well. And then finally, I think another thing that people should do as a racer is like stay for the raid. If somebody helped you complete a tier, it'd be really nice of you to just, like a common courtesy, just to stay for the raid. Don't just like peace out after you complete. Because if there wasn't energy and tiers, you wouldn't do that normal, right? Like you'd stay until somebody finished stream usually. So why are you in the habit of just peacing out when somebody completes your tier? Yeah, it's just a common courtesy thing. Like, because this person helped you complete your stream or your race. I'm more of a streamer. I'm wanting to see what I can do to better the participants. Nice! Barrels of Bounty. Well, this is for you. Now you can understand what energy is. Computer scams in the lead. I'll show you at the score screen. But yeah, I honestly think it's a two-way street. Like, you really need to, as a streamer, just try to communicate better with your viewers as to when you're ending stream. And then marblers, I think there's a lot of give and take, right? Like, you have to understand that it's difficult for marblers be having to juggle energy in multiple streams, right? And they're just trying to compete, and play the game that it was meant to be. Like, the leaderboard's something that's built into the game, so they're just trying to compete in the way that, any other game has competition, right? But it's just on a larger scale as opposed to one single channel, right? They're just playing the game. Exactly. You can't punish. Why would you punish somebody for playing the game the way that it was made? It was made. It's not like they're cheating or they're, botting or anything like that, right? And that was one of the issues of energy too, is just like we were getting accused of botting sometimes. People coming into the community would think that marble grinders were bots, but now with the energy system the way it is, that's less likely to happen. We're not in as many streams, and also people who are competitive marblers just won't play in channels that are new. It's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's a good thing because if anybody is like unfriendly about completing energy for usually people just won't go to that stream, right? It's a bad thing is because somebody new who has no idea what the hell energy is has no way of knowing that they're doing something completely wrong. So it's a give and a take. Here is the energy screen. You can see the taste. You can see energy is over here on the third to the last column. That's how much each player's energy and how much they have left. They -1 for every single race. So every single race that you race in, it's 1 energy. And every single 4 races you race in the same stream, you get 4 back. So these people over here have completed some tiers. You could sort this thing on the bonus column. That's how it's entered. That shows all which tiers they're on, how many races they have, and how many who's completed tiers. So some of these people have 4 out of 4. They just completed their tiers. You can see that right here. This is when they complete their tiers. Their names will be on the right side. So usually you want to keep this side of the screen clean, right? You don't want anyone to come in here and block this because they won't be able to see their tiers. And if you have more than, the screen fills up with racers or whatever, you can scroll down, right? But you're obviously not going to do that every single race. And it's obviously a lot easier for racers to keep track of their energy if they're not being able to show the score screen is use the mobile app. So what is the least amount of things that you could do as a streamer? At the very least, as a streamer, you can let people know when you're doing 4 more races. Honestly, out of anything else, that's what I think the least every streamer should do. What should you do as a marbler and competitive racer? You should pay attention. Like, pay attention. See if they're, if they're telling you they're doing only 4 more races. Right? Communicate with your streamer. Let them know. Like, oh, this is like, you're new. Like, there's this thing called energy. Even if you're not a competitive marbler, I think if you're just a casual player, you should explain to anyone that you meet about energy. Right? And then you as a streamer, if they need more energy or if somebody says they need more energy, like, understand that it's difficult for them to juggle. And they don't want to be that person bugging you, but like they kind of need it. See, I've never had anyone try to explain it. Really, Barrels? That is terrible, Barrels of Bounty. I can't believe that. See, I haven't started stream, but I'm thinking about it. I think playing the game to understand it, the viewer side, is really helpful. Yeah, try playing it on the viewer side, and you'll really understand how difficult it is to juggle energy. Barrels of Bounty, I'm so sorry that no one's ever tried to explain it to you. So yeah, that's all it is. All you need to know as a streamer really is that completing tiers helps you complete your streamer challenges. And they need energy in order to compete for the leaderboard. Another thing I think in general that's like a good rule is you look over here. Here, I gotta close chat for a second. Chat box. If you look over here, that way, all the way over there where my hand can't point to. If you look up there, it'll say everyone's global leaderboard position. Anyone who is not near the top 200, you probably don't need to worry about their tiers. That's just like a general rule. Obviously, there's exceptions to that. There might be people who are still trying to do energy, but in general, during those last 4 races, I try to call out everyone's energy. Like, that I see is globally ranked within close to the top 200. So you could do, like, in your last 4 races, you could do a quick scan of these people and be like, oh, Cybernetic Kraken, 6 out of 8, you need 2 more. AC in Dallas, 39. He needs 3 more. Hothgar, 30th, you just got your tiers. If I was ending stream, I'd be like, oh, Hothgar, you should stop now. 89th, Brian, 4 out of 4. You should stop now if we're gonna end. Tom Marie's, same thing. 1 out of 4 races, right? I would like tell you guys if I was ending stream and I would read out all the competitive racers, like what they're, just so that they know. It's pretty simple after being, you don't, like, on the streamer side, it's very, like, we've made it so easy for streamers now. They just need to let people know when they're doing their last 4 races. That's all it is. Like, you don't really have to worry about it that much. Right? And that's why you'll see people put labels on their titles like easy 100 races, because they want people to know that, like, they don't have to worry about getting their energy, that it's safe for them to, play there, that they don't have to worry about their energy. Okay, let's go over Marble events of the week. Every week now. Oh, that's actually perfect. Record hunters. I was on the right page. Every week now, on Mondays, there's a sponsored event. It's called Record Hunters. It's hosted by Shens and Bax. It's 2 p.m. on Monday. Then there are coins up for grabs for every Record Hunter episode. We could watch a little. I don't want to play their whole entire promo. I'll make sure to link it in the comments, or link it in the description, I mean. And then also, I'm sure you guys have all seen this. You can find it on Twitter.
Could you imagine that, like, Pixel actually supporting?
You guys are hilarious.
I can't actually. I can't
know,
actually.
right?
A little bit
No, I've thought about that.
Could you imagine?
Oh.
Imagine it. Imagine it deeply.
Okay, it's funny. You guys should watch it. But Record Hunters is now a sponsored event.
You guys normally, like, what do you do?
Every Monday now. Make sure you guys are there to support Bax and Shens. It's a lot of fun. After that, we have also on Mondays, AVs, emote extravaganza every Monday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So make sure you're hanging out with AV. He does, if you win, you get a custom emote design or an AV marble skin. Oh my god. Dang, what a deal. So every single Monday, 6 to 9, make sure you guys are there. Surfman on Mondays as well. On stream. Make sure you guys check out Surfman with his Monday Madness streams. Wednesday, Final Ross Battle. Sponsored event. Win pixel by pixel coins every single week with Final Ross Battle. Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, it's you just get with him during the afternoon, and that's when they'll be doing Warrior Wednesdays with Final Ross Battle. Make sure you check that out. Okay, so that's me to January 13th, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. Hosting for an unofficial tournament. Theme equals bad versus good. Ooh. Got a theme going. He has the point structure up there. Prizes. Oh, Streamloots for a prize. Also VIP for second and third. Point system. Top 200 get points. Every placement goes down to 0. There you go. Bad equals high death rate map. Good. Low death rate map. Okay. Cool. So make sure you guys check that out. The official event, MSLA race. Where is the calendar located? Right here. I always posted it. I'll post it in the description too. I always post it in my YouTube description, but there it is in chat for you. Official event, MSLA race. Where's my MSLA race? There it is. January 8th. 3 p.m. is the beginning of the MSLA. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm on the same team of as AC, John and Slick. I'm excited to get ready for that on Friday, 3 p.m. The first official MSLA race. Then, oh, and also Thursday. Sorry, we skipped this one. Thursday. Every Thursday on this stream, Thirsty for Taylor Thursday. Join in and we can have booze money. All the Grand Prix winners get booze money. Look at this poster. All the winners get booze money is every Thursday on this stream. Usually it's the same time, like 6:30, 7:30 Central. It's like 8:30 Eastern. Friday pizza tournament. Every Friday from 7 to 10 Eastern. Play for your chance to win a spin on the pizza wheel for a pizza-related prize. It'd be like deep dish pizza, or deep dish pizza with cookies, or deep dish pizza with, I don't know, cheesecake, hot dogs, sausage, popcorn. So many different types of pizza prizes can be won. So make sure you guys are here for that from 7 to 10. And then on Saturday, Blur official event. Standard Damage, community manager Standard Damage is hosting official Plur event Saturday, January 9th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So make sure you guys check that out too. Plur, it's back. I think that's it for Marble Events of the Week. I don't think there's anything else. We used to be booked up pretty nicely, but now I think everyone... If you guys have events that you want me to... if you guys have events that you want me to showcase, please send it to me or let me know. Like, reach out to me on Discord or social media. I'll be more than happy to get you guys on the show. Okay. To our Barbler of the Week. Everyone get your marbles in there, exclamation mark, play right meow. Right now. You want to get in this one. Out of all the races that you get in today, you want to get in on this one. Exclamation mark, play. Night Reaver. So, I'm going to talk a little about Sinian, the artist formerly known as DJ Sinian. Now it's just Sinian. Sinian said that he actually found marbles through a creative streamer named Nutty. That's quite the name. Nutty. To learn more cool things to do on a stream. Let's see. He switched over to marbles during one of his stream, and while he was playing it, he still talked to people in chat. Yeah, so a lot of people say that like marbles is almost like just chatting because it's really chill. You just talk to people and you run races. You don't really have to 100% pay attention to the races all the time. It's just like fun to hang out. And then he said that after he found out that you could build tracks, that's when he was sold on the game and really wanted to try it out. He said he didn't really actually have a favorite track, but he really likes the track that Pinball Wiz is doing. All the retro tracks, he really enjoys like the collection of like retro tracks that Pinball Wiz made, which is I agree 100%. And he's had a lot of favorite memories in the past 6 months that he's been playing the game. Some of the ones that stick out include Standard Damage doing a GP of all of his tracks, just the Sinian GP, winning the Track Builder tournament in Season 19, and then being raided once multiple times and getting a level 5 hype train, which I think everyone should experience. It's really joyful. If you've never experienced a level 5 hype train completion, it's like any hype train is exciting, honestly. And then he says the most of all, like his favorite thing just in general is looking back and getting all the love and support from the Marbles community. Oh, that's really nice. Yo, he said during the hype train he almost cried. Oh, I've had that happen. I've definitely cried on stream. See, I had my first hype train the other night. Yeah, it's exciting. Let's see. I asked him what he learned from the marbles community. You know what he said to me? He said that actually he learned how a lot of the previous communities like was kind of toxic. And he says he's lightly joking about that, you know. But he actually said that, you know, this community is actually not toxic at all. It's very welcoming. And he never realized, I think, in comparison, how like nice a community could be until he got here. Yeah, he said like kind of discovering marbles made him feel like he was been playing the wrong game the whole time. He really found his mark, if you will. As far as like inspiration and themes that he has, he doesn't really have a theme usually for his tracks, but he wants to do things a little bit differently. Like, for example, during his fountain track, instead of having the water splash down or the marbles come downwards, he thought it'd be surprising for it to go upwards, right? And instead of marble tracks going left and right, maybe different views and trying to do his own little spin on the way people expect things. Sometimes it's more he prefers like a very visually aesthetically pleasing track that gives you like that sense of awe. If you all seen his tracks, they have that. They're all very aesthetically pleasing. As far as themes goes, probably the only one he says he really stuck to a theme was the Plur stream that he did for Standard Damage. Hi, Mikado! See, I just got a feeling, so sometimes I can get overwhelming. Yeah, Barrels. It's new. But he plans to make more Plur tracks in the future. As far as like wanting to highlight his tracks, he really, or any Easter eggs, he hasn't thought of anything yet, but after watching Twisted Indies do some stuff, he thinks he might try it out in Season 21 to maybe do some Easter eggs, or he has like an idea that he wants to do in the future, so keep an eye out on that. And he's really humbled by, I think, the support that the community has given him. Like, a lot of his tracks have seen a lot of plays. One of his tracks hit 1,000 plays in 1 month's time, you know, and he really, really is humbled by the support the community gives them. And like he said, a lot of his tracks are actually all ranked over 90%, which is it's difficult for that. I know. Having had my tracks voted on, it's difficult to keep a 90% average or even above 90%. And the tracks that he worked hardest on were the Plur because of the theme and wanting to do a good job for Jamie and Stan. For Jamie, yeah. And just keep an eye out. He hasn't had anything as far as, working or future plans for stream yet, but keep an eye out. Of course, if you have questions about track building, he loves discussing it. And it's the whole idea, I think, of streaming and track building is to share the knowledge that he has with everyone. So give it up for Asinian. And what is this track? We could check out what this track is. It's called Gentle Joyful Course. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is this? Got some... Okay. Some of this. Oh my goodness. A little flower there. Oh, this is cool. Whoa. Ooh. And of course, oh. Hi-yo. This is so cool. He got it perfectly. It looks exactly like the emote. Hey-yo. Sure, can you share his name? Yeah, I'll put it in chat. He's the one who made this. His name's right up there. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's Sinian TV. Here, I'll shout him out. Are you guys starting to catch on? Everyone, 10 seconds left. Are there people starting to catch on? I want to win. Yes, Esmita. Tracy getting in there. Last second. Tracy, if you win this, it'll be amazing. 21 marbles. Let's go on this GJC track. Not made by GJC, but a GJC track. I love it. This is like the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me as far as track building goes. No one's really made me like, well, actually, no, that's not true. I've had a few people make me tracks. No one's done the emote before. That's pretty amazing. Brian, you remember this track, Night Reaver? Isn't it awesome, Night Reaver? I'm like really flattered that someone would put up this much time to create this track for me. There have been people. Arcane made me a track once, and Dancho made me a track. Dancho's track was a little bit of a troll, though. Dancho essentially made a fast foothill that was really short and put in that thing that I hate, that track piece that I hate, the turny tubes. The turny tubes. He even got the color right. Hi-yo! The turny tubes. I should make a t-shirt out of this. This took a lot of little lasers. Who won this? Brian, Diablo Bob, Purple Toey, GJC, John, AC in Dallas, Hopgar, Phantom, Ella Draft, Ms. Waffles. Brian O'Brien, are you here? Brian, are you here? Brian, are you here? Brian0283, are you here? You have the marbles on Stream Mobile app, or do you have an account? Oh, we didn't vote on it. I'm terrible. It's okay, we'll run it again later, and we'll make sure to vote. Who? Brian, are you here? Yes, you're here. Brian, do you have an account? I assume you have an account. You're like globally ranked 89. I assume you have an account, right? I'm gonna take that as you're on a slight delay. Would you like 200 coins, Brian? 200 pixel by pixel coins? Yes? Okay. I'll see if I can arrange for you to get some coins. All right? let's crank some races. Thank you guys. That's the end of our marbles update. We're gonna go race. I really appreciate you guys hanging out, chilling, talking about energy, hanging out. We'll do this again every week, Monday nights, probably around the same time, 8 or 7:30ish, 8 o'clock, somewhere around there. But usually it'll be Mondays every time, same time. But I appreciate all of you guys hanging out for it. Those of you who came out for it, make sure you come back. All right, let's crank some races.